This is day 2 of our Reach Week devotionals, and we're speaking today about beyond finances. Now, let's be honest. When we speak about finances, it's one of those sensitive topics. And I think at the heart of the issue is the fact that we want to have control of our finances. And as soon as people start poking around, asking too many questions, that control becomes threatened. And we struggle with that. And you know what? There was another man in the Bible that had the same struggle, and that was the rich young ruler. Here comes this young man, and he asks Jesus if he can follow him. But this young man, he had a lot of money. He had a lot of stuff. And Jesus knew that, and Jesus knew that he idolized his finances. So Jesus said, listen, you can follow me, but I want to test your devotion. Are you willing to give away everything you have, all your finances, and allow me to have control over it, and come and follow me? And of course, we read in Mark 10, verse 21 and 22, and Jesus, looking at him, the rich young man, loved him and said to him, you lack one thing. Go sell all that you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. Disheartened by the saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't give away everything. And I want to explain it like this. I believe God calls us to live with open hands. God gives us time. God gives us talent. God gives us our finances. But our problem is what we start to do. We close our hands and we think that we can become the owner of these things. But the fact of the matter is, we are not the owner of everything. God is. God created everything, and therefore He is the owner of everything. And God just calls us to steward everything He gives us, not to become the owner and hold on to it. And that was the problem with a rich young man. He tried to hold on to it and find his security in the things he had, not realizing it, but by putting himself in God's position, he took himself out of the presence of God, out of the blessing of God. Because we cannot become the owner of the things that God entrusts us with. Instead, God calls us to have open hands. And as He gives things to us, we are called to enjoy it and also to even multiply it. And also, God will call us as people with open hands to give some of it away. And that's living a generous life. And that's what we read of the early church. They had generous life. Even in the midst of challenges and trials, they still lived generous lives, knowing that when we have open hands, God is with us. And God will provide for us. God will bless us. And God's presence is amongst us. And that is more valuable than anything else, because that is in what we find our security in. And therefore it is the greatest decision to give over control of our finances and possessions to God Himself, knowing also that there is a promise that as He gives towards us, and also as He calls us to give away, and we do that generously, we store up not treasures on this earth, but treasures in heaven. What an incredible promise. And I want to call us as a church to be a generous people with open hands, willing to, as He give, we receive in gladness, but also as He calls to give away, we do so with even greater joy. Amen.